Morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us, whatever time of night this is. So I'm altabiscuit, and
I'm a Big Honkin' Burger or Studio, depending on the day of the week.
And I'm Cool Ranch. Tony.
and anyway, we got a pretty good run for you here, so we can get started here. Whenever we're ready. You good? All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, Alta.
Let's go, Alta.
So this is Mr. Run and Jump and Dash.
And long jump.
And long jump.
And high jump.
And
there's a high jump. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh.
And then roll.
There's a lot of things they couldn't fit on the name of the game.
So, Mr. Run and Jump, it's a very straightforward game. You are trying to get through these levels very quickly. You have a whole tool of movement options. You've got the high jump, which Alta's using to get through here pretty quickly. You've got a long jump that makes you go very fast. But the tricky thing with Mr. Run and Jump is he is the floatiest person on the planet. If you get momentum, he will not stop running. He will not stop jumping. So you're trying to balance this toolkit of really good movement skills while matching all of these cycles of enemies that one-tap you. And Alta is extremely good at this game. And there's a lot of adaptation, a lot of cool movement when you can finally get that flow going. All right, first level down.
Yeah, it's hard to resist the temptation to not long jump at every opportunity.
Nope.
Okay. Let's see. All right, there we go.
And this game, it's also I think it's a very funny way that we found this game.
Yeah, we found this at PAX West last year, and they had a speedrun leaderboard standing outside of it. So it's like,
It was also, there was a prize too. If you got the best time of the day, you get a free key for the game. So that was like setting out speedrun catnip for us. And the first day, we just grinded and got better times because our first entries were pretty bad. Then the next couple days, we just took home each keys individually. And the funny thing is, the Friday, the person who took home the key was actually sent the prize guy for GDQ. So he's also an unofficial Mr. Run and Jump speedrunner. But going through these levels, you can kind of see Alta's just trying to keep a good pace of dodging through skulls, dodging through frogs. Everything is on a pretty much global timer and not necessarily aligned positively. So every single movement Alta makes, if it is too fast, he then has to adapt. If it is too slow, he then has to adapt. And there's lots of narrow openings that he's going to be finding, trying to get this going. This is actually a really good example of a level where the IL strategy is very annoying because Alta's starting with the ghost on. You actually have to wait for the cycles to align perfectly for every single IL. But once he gets flowing, the stages are all pre-planned. There is actually very little RNG in this game outside of a couple small buggy pixels that are not really a concern.
This level is also a good example of just high jump, long jump into high jump momentum, and which is, I'm going to reset the screen actually, that didn't feel good. That's a good example of just there are certain cycles I'm expecting to get, and I need momentum from previous screens sometimes, and it's sometimes often better just to try again instead of trying to force it.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Frog.
Goodbye, frogs. I think frogs are probably the most lethal enemy in the run just because they go quite far, as you can see. It's spikes, actually. It's spikes. The spikes are everywhere, and they're very mean. But aside from that, most enemies are a little bit more predictable. Outside of one guy, but we'll see more of them.
If I make involuntary noises, that is normal. My couch may also make noises.
It's a stressful run. Let's see.
All right.
The gimmick with the void levels, there's a void chasing you. Usually it's very speed focused, the challenges in the level is picking up little shards, but by going fast, it kind of defeats the danger of the void for the most part. This goal is a pretty good example of just finding a narrow opening. When Mr. Run and Jump dives, he actually changes his hitbox, and you can use that to find narrow little openings above skulls, and that comes up a lot. Let's see.
Yeah, he's got quite a big hitbox, actually.
I think something to talk about too is falling is actually very difficult in this game because Mr. Run and Jump, well, as I said, he's very floaty and will stick to walls like nobody's business. And when that happens, it's very hard to get him off the wall, and you dramatically slow down because you start wall sliding, which I think you might only do once or twice in the full run on purpose. It's actually kind of awful for the run, and there's more tech to avoid sticking to walls than there is to actually using the walls themselves.
Yeah, rolling into a wall makes you not grab it, so I do that pretty often.
This is also welcome to the blue levels. That's the theming for this game. It's different colors. I believe the plot is something along the line of Mr. Run and Jump has kind of accidentally torn open colors into the world, and now the Void is trying to destroy him. This is a remake of a 80s game, I believe, which, you know, it has like 2 colors. They're quite nice. It's got a couple others, but they've added a bit more since then.
Also, every level's got like a time trial, silver, gold, and platinum times that you can go for. This level's platinum time is the hardest by far, and I'm not sure why.
I love this screen. Getting past those squares is actually quite hard, and just navigating right above the skulls. That's a lot of these screens is with the right momentum coming in, Alta will just be shaving everything essentially.
Yeah, like the platinum time on this is 105, and my PB is a 103. So it's a new enemy type here at the end. You have access to everything in your movement toolkit from the get-go. You don't like unlock anything, so it's just the levels are mostly designed in a way to introduce you to how you're expected to use the movement instead of unlocking new stuff and introducing new enemy types.
Mm-hmm. So the thwomps, for example, thwomp when you are getting close to them, or not. Sometimes they'll thwomp when you're underneath them, and the problem is you have to memorize which one's which, and it gets very difficult and it's actually one of the hard parts of the run. The robots, they'll dash in front of you if you stop, so you have to jump up and dash, as Alta's shown off there. And there'll be more and more enemies introducing more and more kind of just drama, I think is a good way to put it.
You mind if I jump in with my very favorite kind of donation?
Yeah, go for it.
It's $100 from John McCula that says, it is a special kind of thrill to see a game you worked on get absolutely dominated by a speedrunner, especially when it's for a good cause. On behalf of myself and the team at Graphite Lab, I want to say thank you to altabiscuit for bringing Mr. Run and Jump to the SGDQ stage. Let's run and jump to $1 million.
Graphite Labs, y'all killed it.
Yeah, this game is awesome.
Yeah, they've been really supportive on this, and I really appreciate that. And y'all made a really good game here.
That was actually a really good level, by the way.
Yeah.
I think once you start hitting blue and especially green stages, we're going to see a lot of just like, it's very, very hairy very quickly. But a lot of this, it's just very planned out in execution. It's a weird run because you want to do everything consistently every single time, but you won't, because that's just not how humans work. And so there's going to be a lot of minor adaptations. That's a really good example, diving into that room so you immediately have to dash and get past those squares.
I mean, if your execution's going to feel good while I'm reading donuts, I'll gladly just keep going.
Yeah, go for it.
We've got some love for you, $75 from Jay Pappy. It says, I don't know much about this next run, but I sure hope there's running and jumping in it. And $50 from Universal Giant. I just rolled out of bed, bounced off a few walls, and jumped into my chair to donate through a portal. Am I doing it right? Best of luck with the run, Alta.
Thanks, Uni.
That was the slightest pixel in that bounce back.
Yeah. I discovered that by accident.
I think routing for this game is very fun. Alta's done a ton of runs, but early on, it's just you just mash your face into a room and go like, all right, what works? What's physically possible? What's reliable? What's IL only? And you just keep doing stuff until something kind of works, and then you just get good at that, hopefully.
And back in January, they added the Ghost update, which made ILs a lot Better.
Very nice.
It was just so nice to get instant feedback on everything, and it probably like improved my times by like minutes. It's overall.
It's hard to call it sick tricks because there's a lot of cool things that happen, but they're so fast. Like going through the skulls there, that's really cool. That's really hard to time. Going through those narrow gaps is actually pretty difficult because Mr. Red Jump has a lot of vertical leap on his dashes, so it's actually pretty hard to time. Green levels, how do you feel about the green levels, Alta?
They're pretty trolly.
New enemy type, we got the chompers. They're pretty simple. If you stand on their platform, they will chomp at you. The trick is, it is instant when they attack, so you cannot dodge them. That's the only really hard part about them. But you get enough time, and if you're speedrunning, you're going fast anyways. I think this is where we start seeing a lot of patterns coming up too. We also get the breakable platforms. Pretty simple, straightforward. You jump, they break, they give you a big bounce if you want it.
I think also like just, and this really applies to any precision platformer especially, but like, it's just not to get tilted. You're going to die at some point, like, especially in a live marathon run. So you just kind of got to roll with whatever happens.
You got to roll with it, or jump, or long jump, or crouch, or et cetera, et cetera.
Got the red platforms here too. They disappear after you hit them, so that's a new mechanic there. Here's a good example of thwomps being different than what you might expect.
Yeah, those last couple of rooms too, they're really good at just showing off how there's a lot of verticality to a lot of the levels too. That's something that really sets Mr. Run and Jump apart from a lot of platformers, I feel. There's a lot of emphasis of going upward, downward, as well as left and right.
If you want to see if Alta does something cool, just look for us to make sounds. There was like a moment where he was an inch above a bunch of robots going, and it's just like super, super hard to do that. It's super cool to like in action, but it's so fast. This is one of my favorite rooms coming up. Just navigating through these birds. Those birds will hit you as soon as they move. It's instant. And this room is also awesome if you get the timing, and he got it. So by going at the perfect speed, everything lines up, and it's very difficult to do. I was gonna say this is a really good read too, and that was my fault. That's the other rule of precision platformers. If you ever have any optimism, it's gonna get crushed immediately. That's how the game goes.
And then there's this part of the screen.
This is where IL and speed and like full run diverge, because you can do dashes across that, and you have like an 80% chance of dying on each platform because of how floaty he is.
Yeah, it's really easy to eat those spikes when you're dashing like that.
Here, it's difficult to time the dashes after the platforms. It will interrupt your movement and let you get underneath spikes, which is very important for a lot of sections. That was a very good green too.
Mm-hmm. This level has a pretty funny screen. It'll be evident once we get there, but we'll call it out the screen before.
I think that's the first time in the run you have to wait for a cycle, like regardless of routing.
Also, this is where thwomps start acting pretty funny. Like, okay, whatever.
They didn't kill you. It works.
Sometimes things just work.
That's a mean thwomp.
There are a couple mean thwomps in this level, actually.
This is a very mean level. This is a pretty good example of avoiding walls. You get just enough, and then you really shove off them because, quite frankly, they're awful for Mr. Run and Jump.
I don't think we covered it either, but like hugging the wall also resets your air dash. Also, this is the room.
Oh, I love this room. All right, this one's tricky. You got it. We
Okay.
practice playing. That's the secret. That room's really cool, but the trick is there's a very specific gap you can follow. I love that room because it's so daunting your first time through, and to give you an alternate route. But speedrunning is cool, so you just do the cool thing ASAP.
I think we both had the same idea when we first saw it. It's like, there's got to be a way to
Oh
get
yeah,
past
like
it.
we're
It's just
making it through. And we died a lot trying to figure the way through. I love this room. I love the birds. They're my favorite enemy in the game. navigating them, you have to not land on them. And there's my least favorite swamp, because when you first learn runs, you forget about them.
Yep, you're gonna get jump scare killed by it.
This tosses in the horror block. We've got a scary, oh, this is Tony skip.
Yep.
That is a skip Tony found, regardless of what he says, and whether or not we did it before, because we don't remember, but he pointed it out and we started doing it. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks,
Not a
Tony.
problem. It saves a little bit of time. Gotta take what you can get.
God, I love getting, when you see the frog jumping over you as you're, it just lines up perfectly. I want to say that like pretty much every jump is hard.
Oh, absolutely.
Little time for donations while we're moving through here.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of love moving toward this Morrowind incentive, especially from Germany. We've got $100 from Michael85 that says, "Greetings from Germany. Again, a great event. Donation goes to the Morrowind incentive. I've seen an any percent run before, and it is wild." As well as $25 from Bowl that says, "Donating $25 toward the Morrowind from Germany because y'all are probably asleep over there. Let's meet that incentive."
1,
We're
2, 3, 4, 5.
Very nice.
I learned how to count to 5 because of DK64randomizer.com.
That's so much higher than any other speedrunner can count. I'm so proud.
Oh, another bird room.
Yeah, this is where you start to see the void actually rubber band against you a bit too.
Yeah,
It's something that
You cannot outrun the void. A life lesson for all of us. It will hug the character, and actually, it's a little dangerous on a couple screens, but for the most part, you know, if it's caught up to you, something's gone wrong.
The later void levels like that one just have a victory lap screen at the end, so it's kind of a nice thing. So yellow, it is very cycle-based. There are some extremely cursed strategies which are probably not going to be safe, so I'll only be going for some of them. But I'm going for it. All right.
And we're also getting introduced to our friend-shaped worms here. They've got nice, cute little smiles on them.
There's like little risk for going for that. So.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to point out that like there's a lot of risky things you can do, and if you lose a half second if you die, go for it. If you lose like 10, 20 seconds, maybe not for a full run. The worms are great. They're really just a timer. They're a different mechanic for another like cycle. They're pretty straightforward though, and you know they're cute. They're happy little guys. I like them. I think they're friendly. They're not my favorite, but I like them. They're high on the tier list.
You can probably fit another donation or two here.
Absolutely. We've got $25 from Delta1 that says, "Longtime viewer, so happy to finally be able to donate. I never played Morrowind, but it is one of the first GDQ runs I watched, so let's get that any percent run, chat." We are getting there. We're at 15,330, and it's gonna be tight, but chat, I have seen y'all do some incredible things in the past. I know that we can do this. We just gotta keep it moving. We've got a little bit of throwback donation, $10 from Janine. That's my best bet. "My favorite song from the Morrowind soundtrack is Peaceful Waters." Am I doing this right? You're doing it perfectly. You're doing amazing.
This is a really good start to yellow too. New enemy, the big old flowers, they expand and contract. Sometimes they don't, and that's the gimmick is you have to figure out which ones don't. They are not instant like the chompers, so there's a lot of timing you can do to narrowly avoid them. And their hitboxes are beautiful. They're just shy of filling the full image, so you can actually get real close to them. It's pretty dirty.
This was probably one of the levels that gave me the most trouble at first when I'm learning it. Like every screen was just a menace, but now it's mostly the red levels which come after this. But
You tickled that flower on the way out the door.
yeah,
A lot of levels really are just like learn the route, and then they're still hard, but they're at least, you know, plausible.
we got the fast cycle there.
Nice. This is a huge maze that Alta skips. We'll do it again. This is a huge maze that Alta skips. See?
And then a long falling screen here at the end.
And the big thing here is you never want to dash unless like it's routed in. It's a safety measure, but every dash kind of has a good chance of killing you because it'll mess up the cycles later on, and it's actually very hard to react at the end here.
Could I humbly ask how it's a safety measure if it almost always kills you?
It's the instinct. It's like, well, I'm in danger. I better dash to, get a little bit more time to react or like get to this wall. But because it messes up every cycle, you just end up dying a few seconds later, and it's like the worst of all worlds. There's a lot of bad habits that you have to immediately stop when you're not even running, just playing this game.
Yeah, there's just this. As much as this game rewards speed, it also rewards a lot of discipline, which I had to.
Yes.
I don't. Oh, geez. I don't know what my death counter is in this game, but it's probably really high.
I would be shocked if it's not in the tens of thousands. I mean, the cool thing is when you die like it's a no time to restart.
Yeah.
And most rooms are actually relatively small, so it's not a huge impact.
Okay.
This is a tough room because it's one of those, if you do any movements, you have to change your whole route entirely because it completely adjusts the flower cycles. And I'm always talking about the flower cycles.
Just hold right on the screen. That's all.
Nice.
And you go for the fast cycle on this one, right?
Yep. Right here.
Very nice.
That's really hard, by the way. That's one that was so hard. I remembered how hard it was. I went like, okay, we got to call this one out in the run. I love this room. It's the biggest room in the game by far, at least for the regular levels. And you can just do whatever. Like, there are so many routes you can take here. It's a very flexible and adaptable run. You die. It happens sometimes. But the thing here is, as long as you are trying to like keep aware of the skull pathing and like landing on the jump pads you need to land on, it's a very open room. Until you've done a bunch of runs, I'm pretty sure people do a different route every single time.
I have no idea where I'm at.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
There you go. That's a new route. The weird skull route. I don't know if I've ever seen those skulls.
Yeah. Okay. Hello. We are in super improv land right now. All right.
Perfect.
Super Improv Land is my favorite 2D platformer right after Mr. Run and Jump. Got time for a couple donations?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we've got $25 from Mariaka that says, greetings from Germany again. Let's meet this incentive. Elder Scrolls hype. Small but mighty. I appreciate you, 3 a.m. crowd.
I thought Small But Mighty was a username for a second. I thought that was so cool.
Time for a little bit more?
Yep. This is a good level for it.
Perfect. We've got $25 from Anonymous. Donation to help meet Morrowind incentive. Friendly reminder to utilize any donation matching your company may offer to help MSF that much more. We've got $25 from Marco that says, let's get some more O-Wind. I will not get tired of reading that pun. If y'all want to donate that pun 100 times, I'll read it 100 times. We've got $10 from Empty Null that says, Mr. Run and Jump is interesting, but what I really want to know is what do those blue Doritos taste like? It better not be blueberry.
Cool Ranch, for sure.
That's actually Coolest Ranch, the undiscovered flavor. That's why the Void is trying to tear this place apart. It's too powerful.
The secret, powerful Cool Ranch.
There's a little timing trick you do there. Alta did a little jump to perfectly align the flowers. If not, this room's actually one of the hardest rooms to casually get through because finding the alignment for the flowers while being chased by the Void sucks. I was going to say, I hate it. I was very mad at it, then I felt very good. So good work on the game design. It was very satisfactory.
All right. Onwards to red.
These are all hard levels. Red 1 is okay, but it's still very difficult. This is no new mechanics. It is everything being thrown at Alta all at once. We got frogs, we got worms, we got thwomps deciding whenever they want to move. And there's a lot of cycles. Most enemies are pretty okay at this point in terms of being one universal cycle, but a lot aren't. So this is a very tricky section.
And just more thwomps where you just gotta know. Some of them are gonna look like.
Oh, this is a cool thwomp. He's got this cool slow skulls. I love that. I was really happy when I saw that. It's a very silly section. But yeah, a good example is like looking at the frogs here. Any point they're misaligned, everything gets dangerous. Always keep your frogs aligned.
Keep your frogs in a row. I always seem to be drawn to game where there are going to be frogs tormenting me. It's in this game, it's an Octopath Traveler, you know.
What is a video game without its frogs? Nothing, I say. Let's see. All right, that was a really good red one.
The shortest of them by far, though. These get longer and longer.
They get longer, the screens get longer, and it's good. There's a lot of adaptation needed if anything happens, pretty much. Just if the game is played.
And it's got intense music to match.
Dodge the long worm.
And
All
this
right, all
enemy
right.
up ahead is just gonna wait for reasons.
It's fun watching you like sync up with your ghost on the
Yeah.
wall jumps.
I put in the ghost for the run for fun. Plus, it'd be hype if I beat one. Frog. Okay. Ooh, that was. I thought I was dead for sure.
Those are the two hardest swamps in the game. I think Tony needed a hand on those.
Yeah, I had my skip and that was my wall. I just couldn't handle it on my own. Alta had to hold my hand.
It's important to note that the thwomps have very specific ranges for activation. So like when Alta gets up close to one to turn it on, there's a very narrow window you can actually do it in, and it's super easy to run into them or worse, not activate them and kind of just stop. So this is all very fun.
In fact, the thwomp at the end of this room will be an incredibly good example of that.
And this is a very cool room.
Yes!
Oh, beautiful.
That was good. That was really good. That was like 2 seconds off a PB for an IL, which for a marathon is incredible.
And that last room is very scary to get right. So Red 3 is by far the hardest level in the run, in my opinion. It's also the longest.
It's long level, long screens, super precise, lots of different cycles.
Okay.
Got the slow squares. I love the slow squares. You just gotta know. The tricky part about playing this casually too is there's just a lot of different things being thrown at you. So for example, dodging the birds, dodging the worms, getting a cycle with the worms and the birds that lets you survive both of them, getting to that swamp, but also not being killed by a bird because you waited too long. I think the birds are actually really kind of the pacemakers here because they move instantly, so you have to build everything around them first, and then you have to make space for all the skulls and toads. I've upgraded them to toads, by the way.
That room is a chance to breathe. It's one of the... It's just a jumping room. Like, the vertical rooms are kind of good for that.
You still have to be very fast on the inputs, and the timing actually for the dashes is pretty difficult. If you go too quickly, you don't get enough height off the dash and the wall jump. So there's still a rhythm to it, but it's at least easy. Oh, yes, got it.
Nice. It's a very tight cycle.
Yeah, that was, I think you did this in, 3 worms? Normally you do it in like 6 casually, and 4 if you're trying to go fast, so that was actually a very good roam.
Mind if I jump in with some love from your community?
Yes.
We've got $25 from Sarah. It says, morning and good luck, Alta. So happy to see Mr. Run and Jump on the SGDQ stage. You are doing amazing. Donate for Morrowind.
Thank you, Sarah.
We've also got $25 from Ozpan that says, hello. Watching Games Done Quicks for years now, together with my dog and husband. We're so hyped for the Morrowind run, but also I don't want Mr. Run and Jump to end. It looks so much fun, and the commentary is great. Greetings from Germany.
All right, final level. One more void. Lots of skulls, lots of cool skull sound effects.
We'll get to hear more.
Now, yeah, exactly. I'll say the audio design in this game is very clear on what's happening. You know what's going on based off the sounds. It's pretty. That toe jump sound effect haunts me.
Yeah, everything from the level design, the movement, the sound design, like it's all very intentional, and that's something that I absolutely adore about this game.
I'll say those skulls, dodging the ones he just went into like little pit, that's actually super hard too, because they move at an angle, and very few things like that move at an angle, and they're all hard to dodge. Pretty much, it's just, I don't know, it's hard to comment on the individual levels. It's like, yeah, you see all the stuff being thrown at Alta. Yeah, if he goes slow, he dies. If he goes fast, he could die too. So he just has to do it perfectly. That's my commentary for every room going forward. Yeah, Alta does it because he's good at the game. It's pretty cool.
Perfect room.
Yeah, there is no way I think to avoid any of the red platforms, like that one row of red platforms. Birds here are a little on the slow side, which lets you kind of avoid. This room's cool because I think this is just the way you beat the level. Like, I don't think there's a casual strat. I think this is a bit of a breather for you, right?
Yeah. I think it's possible to make that first cycle. I haven't done it, but it's there. It's there taunting me. Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah, great recording.
Okay.
Hey, it worked.
Early morning Alta noises.
And the victory lap screen.
All right. Time's coming up.
Be time when we hit the diamond on the next screen.
You can still die on this screen, by the way. Like this.
And time. All right. What was time on that?
32:33.
Wow, that was
Beautiful.
That's really good, actually. It stumbled a little early, but like the end game went very well. Like I was really happy with how that went. Anyway, thanks y'all for joining me on the couch. Thanks again, Graphite Lab, for the support and just making an amazing game. It's on sale on Steam. Check it out. And that's it for me.